Welcome back to the Bryan Devore Connection. I'm your host, Bryan Devore. Unfortunately, in many cases, seniors are left out of the digital world. They're not staying connected in a digital way. Well, how can we solve that problem? Well, here today to talk to us about that and his passion for it is my friend Cole. Cole with Senior Tech Connect. Cole, thanks for coming today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I love what you do. And you and I met a few months ago, and I really appreciate your passion for helping seniors in this tech space. Tell us how you got into this tech world.
Of course. So really, I was in the Marine Corps. That's what brought me out to Southern California. And as I was exiting my first 4 years in the Marine Corps, my grandfather had passed away to Parkinson's disease. This was in 2022. And during his journey with Parkinson's disease and cognitive decline, um, a lot of the burdens that a lot of the responsibilities that he used to take care of, the finances, the car, the home, technology, they quickly shifted to my grandmother's shoulders. And I saw every day, it seemed like it's all centered around technology and digital literacy. And my grandma would tell me, hey, Cole, these cars these days, they have all these different devices and safety tools and gadgets, but I don't know how to use them. So I feel less safe driving one of these cars than, one back in the 80s that was just a stick shift. So that's really what got me interested in the idea of supporting seniors with tech education and digital literacy. And in through doing research, that's when I was able to kind of connect with my co-founder, Angie, and her son. They're based in South Florida, and they were doing this as a community service project. So calls every day, that led to here we are. Now we're co-founders in Senior Tech Connect.
That's great. So it's interesting how you talk about how she was afraid, to drive the car. And I guess I never really thought of it that way, where, perhaps seniors are afraid of technology. And so that's one of the reasons why they kind of shy away from it. But you feel it's really important for seniors to be aware of digital literacy. What does that mean?
Absolutely. What does that mean? So the way I like to phrase it is I'll ask, does anyone know an older adult, parent, grandparent that struggles with technology? And most people chuckle. They say, yep, I know. Or you speak to older adults themselves and they'll say, my kids don't have patience for me, and they'll laugh. But if you look at it at a macroeconomic scale, this is a major problem because we're seeing, the healthcare industry that's going to virtual telehealth, all these different types of virtual means that require a level of digital literacy that hasn't been acknowledged. It hasn't been met amongst the 65 plus population, and the tech world has not brought the level down to meet them where they are. So that's why it's important. We focus on the healthcare industry. That's how we partner. Not to get ahead of myself, but it spans everyday life. Connecting with your friends and family, staying in touch with those that you love. Everything relies on technology these days. And to think that, oh, if you're 65 and up, you'll figure it out. You'll be fine without it. I think that's assuming a world that is not fully providing all of the great wonders and all of the great things that we get to enjoy with technology. That's just kind of throwing that by the wayside for those that don't have access to it.
Yeah, and it's evolving so quickly. So how does Senior Tech Connect solve the problem?
Absolutely. Great question. And that evolves every day. Our niche is through supporting and empowering healthcare organizations, senior living, community centers, and even home care and caregivers through our digital literacy tools, our digital literacy training. We've even recently built animated telenovelas or soap operas that help bring this cultural inclusion and this cultural idea around technology being a good thing. Because not only do we face the battle of teaching people the gestures and the skills, but we also, like you said, have to fight the battle of the cultural understanding. A lot of people don't feel like they can do it, And our job is to, through our partners, through the healthcare organizations, provide them the tools to get them there.
Got it. And you and I met, one of the times we met was at San Diego Oasis, which is a center for lifelong learning in San Diego. And there's 2 different locations. And you taught my senior 101 class, the last class, I believe. And it was great seeing, a room of seniors who, some were more advanced, and felt very comfortable with their phones. Others were like, not really at that level and needed some additional guidance. What I love to see is how you're able to connect with all of them. No matter where they're at in their digital journey, so to speak, you're able to provide the continuing education.
Yeah, thank you. I think really understanding, and our instructors are kind of taught that from the beginning, that you can't assume anything. You can't assume that someone knows how to scan a QR code, or knows how to navigate to their settings, or even knows what settings is, right? These are all new concepts that came up in the last 10 to 20 years. So kind of having that perspective shift and understanding from the other side, not growing up with a phone in your hand, it makes a difference. So, but yeah, we enjoy what we do, and whether it's your first time using a smartphone straight out of the box, or you feel pretty comfortable, everyone can learn something, ourselves included.
I learned in that class, Mike, I didn't know this could do this. So it's like we take for granted what we think we know. So, and the breadth of what you do, obviously it's phones, it's probably tablets. What other sort of digital literacy can you help with seniors?
Absolutely. What I would say is the metrics that we are pushing are utilization of virtual health resources, because that is kind of where the largest need is, and it seems like the biggest stopgap is. So that's one area. Accessing your healthcare portal, whether it's MyChart, Athena, whatever that healthcare portal is, there are a variety of steps that it takes to get there. So that's one area. And then I should mention the other area being cybersecurity. This is something that I've, in the past 6 months, just absolutely kind of dove into the literature and everything that's out there about, scams that are targeting seniors every single day. So at the very least, if we can teach someone how to avoid picking up that phone and speaking to someone that's trying to take their retirement, or clicking on that link in an email that comes in that looks like they won something for free, but is actually trying to gain access to their bank account, that cybersecurity service and education that we provide can be life-changing. So those are kind of just 2 of the areas that we focus on, and it's always tailored usually to the clients and to the healthcare organizations that we're supporting.
Got it. Do you have some success stories you can think of on all those areas?
Absolutely. So whenever we meet with a group class, whenever we provide any of our services, we always ask for feedback and surveys. But one story that sticks out is this man. He was actually in a Conviva clinic in South Florida, and he came in and asked one of our instructors and said, how do I connect with my mother and my sister at the same time? Because my mother's going through some health problems, and we want to be able to help her out with her medical care, but she doesn't live with us. So our instructor taught him how to create a WhatsApp group with his mother and his sister. And the next week they came in, he had them on the WhatsApp group with a video call, talking, and he was like, hey, now we meet up once a week on WhatsApp. And this to me just kind of gave me goosebumps, because it reinforced what we're about. We're connecting not only technology, but we're connecting people through technology, and it's bringing family members, it's bringing those loved ones together through that digital literacy.
And we really became so much more aware of it during COVID, where, with Zoom and FaceTime, where we were able to have people stay connected. But I'm sure a lot of seniors felt kind of left out, and it's great to see that they're able to sort of catch up. And what I liked about that approach that you just mentioned, that success story, was It wasn't about, let me teach you this, let me teach you this. It's what's the issue? What's the problem you're trying to solve for? Because there's going to be technology for most every issue that people are going to have. And so you're able to just sort of take that issue, know what the solutions are, and show it to them in a way that makes sense and they can utilize it.
Absolutely. And really one thing the way that we look at it is there's this intergenerational aspect here. We're seeing a lot of dissonance between older adults and the other populations moving into, independent living, senior living, and these other types of homes, which are great, right? But we still want to have a society that includes older adults in everyday life. And so one thing that we found is just by connecting the youth, our instructors, college students, even middle-aged instructors, with older adults, it has a synergistic effect beyond just the tech skills. There's relationships built. There's, wow, this person has done something that my family didn't have the patience to do. And that means a lot to me, And so my vision is really to take patience and bring that at a national scale. Like, how do we scale patience? So for what it's worth, that's what we're working on.
That's awesome. Well, one step at a time. And, kind of back to the cybersecurity part, and that's near and dear to my heart too, because I've encountered many seniors who've been taken advantage of. So hats off to you for really trying to create that awareness and education for seniors so that they don't get taken advantage of.
Absolutely. And we're seeing it every day. The Council on Aging, the last meeting that we had, talking about just in San Diego County alone, about $100 million lost in 2023 due to senior cyber scams. That's just reported, right? There's probably a lot.
That's a small percentage of probably the total.
Exactly. So unfortunately, I think it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. But what we can do is what we can do and work every day to help seniors to avoid those scams and also to navigate the technology that they want and need to navigate.
Absolutely, for sure. So Cole's information is on screen. You can go to his website. His phone number is right there as well. Give him a call. Learn more about how he can help you in your digital journey, so to speak. The Senior Tech Connect is a wonderful resource. I encourage you to take advantage of it. Cole, thank you so much for coming and enlightening us about what it is you do to help seniors in this world.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.